right, so big game for the Lions Sunday afternoon up in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium in SoCal against the LA Rams, a team that will forever be linked to the hip with Detroit ever since the events of the trade from 5 years ago. Yeah, can't you believe it? It's almost been 5 years since the Matt Stafford, Jared Goff trade. Crazy how time flies all of a sudden. But yeah, big matchup against the Rams. A lot of playoff implications on the line for this game for both teams in terms of trying to make the dance this year. So let's take a look at this game and see how the Lions match up against the Rams, two teams that know each other pretty well off the last couple years. So, of course, for the point spread line, the Rams are favored in this game by 5.5 points. So Detroit comes into this game as 6-point underdogs against the Rams. LA, they lead the all-time series over Detroit 45-43-1. However, the Lions have won the last 2 meetings against the Rams, including that playoff matchup a couple years ago. But those 2 games were in Detroit. Ever since the trade, the Lions and the Rams have faced each other 3 times. Detroit has won 2 games. The Rams have won 1. The one game the Rams won was when they had played in Los Angeles at SoFi. As the Lions have had issues beating the Rams in out at LA. In fact, the last time the Lions beat the Rams in Los Angeles was all the way back in 1993. Yeah, fun fact, in the Rams' entire tenure in St. Louis, the Lions never beat the Rams in St. Louis, believe it or not. But yeah, it's been a while since the Lions last beat the Rams in Los Angeles. And before anybody says anything, no, the Lions beating the Chargers in 2023 doesn't count for this statistic. That's the Chargers, not the Rams. That's a whole different LA can of worms. Plus, the Rams are not the goddamn Chargers. Difference between the two is the Rams at least know how not to choke the season away. I mean, just look in the rafters. They have 2 Super Bowl banners to prove it. Anyway, continuing on, let's get back to the football. Now, Detroit, they are 3-3 on the road this year. The Rams are 5-1 at home this year. Now let's get into the key players for the Rams offense. So starting on offense, of course, the quarterback. It's a quarterback Lions fans know very well because the Rams quarterback, it was the Lions' old franchise QB for 12 years. Good old Matthew Stafford. Someone the Lions fans know extremely well. So yeah, and of course, a running back, they got quite a duo of running back tandem. They got Kyren Williams, who's the main running back for the Rams. But they got other running backs in that backfield like Blake Corum and Jerquise Hunter. Well, the receiving core is a bit banged up. They don't got Tutu Atwell, who's on the IR with a hamstring. Now, Tutu is actually eligible to come off IR this week, but a lot of indications have looked like to where Sean McVay is not going to take Tutu off the IR, so looks like he won't be playing this week. And it's been confirmed that Tyler Higbee, he's on the IR with an ankle injury. He won't be eligible to return till next week. But they do got other players they can count on a receiving core. Of course, you got Devontae Adams. They got Puka Nacua, and they got Terrence Ferguson for tight end. The defense, well, the D-line is loaded with D-line talent. You got Kobe Turner. You got Poona Ford. You got Jared First, Byron Young, and Braden Fisk. You also got some other linebackers in there like Josiah Stewart, Omar Speeds, Nate Lehman as well. The secondary's not a strong suit for the Rams. The secondary's not as strong talent-wise. Like, most of the defensive talent comes in that front 7. And the secondary's a bit banged up, too, with what they do got. The name's worth a damn. But in terms of what they have that's worth a damn, they don't got Quentin Lake, as he's on the IR. What was it I wrote here? Let's see. Yeah, it was an elbow injury for Quentin Lake. So he's not available. He won't be eligible to return until next week. And Darius Williams is questionable with a lower leg injury. Out of everybody in their secondary worth a damn, the only person worth a damn in the secondary that's actually healthy is Akello Witherspoon. So, yeah, most of the Rams' success comes in that front seven and getting to the quarterback. And the Rams front set, and that Rams D-line especially, they know how to get skinny and use speed to exploit bad O-lines. Rams head coach, of course, is Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds in the game. Offensive coordinator is Mike LaFleur, and the defensive coordinator is Chris Shula. The Rams offense this year is a top 5 offense. They're ranked 5th. They're 4th in the pass game, and they're top 10 in the run game and 10th. Rams defense still middle of the pack. They're the 13th ranked defense. They're 16th in the pack against the pass, and they're 11th against the run. But actually watching some tape back and looking at it, Rams defensive line has had issues stopping the run. The reason why they're ranked pretty high, though, is because a lot of teams that played the Rams have abandoned it because a lot of teams had to adjust to try and keep up with Stafford and the offense scoring a lot. So I think the keys to winning this game, I think it's trying to establish the run and trying to stay in this game. Like, I think controlling time of possession is going to be crucial because we all know what Stafford can do. Let's be honest. We've seen Stafford play in Detroit for 12 goddamn years. We know damn well his strengths and weaknesses. We know what he's capable of doing. So I think establishing the run and playing smash mouth football and trying to run it down the Rams right up the interior, right up the middle, I think that's going to be crucial. I think this game will be won in the trenches for sure. If the interior O-line could hold up, which last week the interior O-line did a pretty good job against a pretty solid Cowboys front that had, they had Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. I mean, Tate Radwich held his own against that. And Miles Frazier, in a very small sample size, did pretty well while splitting snaps with Tristan Colin. So I mean, if the interior O-line, especially Miles Frazier and Tate Radwich, if they continue to keep balling up there and keep getting protection for Goff, I think pass protection and picking up on the blitzes, I think that's going to be crucial to winning this game. And giving Jared all the time he needs to throw the ball and sling it. So I think that's going to be crucial. Honestly, I think controlling time of possession, trying to hold the ball for 36, 40 minutes, I think that's need to be crucial to winning the turnover battles. Because the best way to prevent Matt Stafford from doing any damage is to keep his ass off the field for as long as humanly possible. And the Lions will get some secondary help because Kirby Joseph is expected to be back this week and will finally be playing this week. So he looks like he's good to go. Which they need him badly after Brian Branch went down with the Achilles tear injury last week against Dallas. That sucks too. For Brian Branch, prayers to him and hope for a speedy recovery. But I think also defensively, game pressure to Matt Stafford's going to be crucial in winning that turnover battle. Got to find a way to shut down their receiving options. You got to force try and get Stafford uncomfortable because we know what he can do. And we also do not let Stafford get into a 2-minute offense. If the Lions need to just establish the run and prioritize it, because the Rams usually have averaged giving up around nearly 4 yards per run attempt there defensively. The Rams D-line has given up about 4 yards per run. So if the Lions can stay in this game and prioritize the run, this is a winnable game. I know a lot of people writing the Lions off because the injuries, they're banged up and all this, and the Rams, they're not going to forget about what happened in the last 2 times they played in Detroit and all this and that. Honestly, who gives a fuck about that? Everyone's writing Detroit off, and honestly, good. I'll be honest, I think the Lions honestly are in the right position for this game. Honestly, the Lions have always played better as the underdog coming in. And a lot of people are writing the Lions off, especially with playoff implications, because, the Rams, they can clinch a playoff spot with a win. And I'll be honest, I think the Lions need to win. This game, the Lions need to win, because if the Lions win out the rest of the year, they will make the playoffs. because they would have tiebreaker over Chicago, regardless of what the Bears do. Because right now, it's all setting up to where Week 18 could be a winner-go-home game against the Bears, but we got to take care of business against the Rams first. I know some people are concerned, saying, oh, the Rams are due to win one because, how many times we played the Rams will know us pretty well. Well, I mean, how many times we played the Rams, we know them pretty well, too. I mean, that argument is a two-way street. I know some people are concerned, saying, oh, but Stafford this, Stafford that, Stafford having the best season of his career, he's going to carve up our banged-up secondary. I always say, Jesus Christ. If you want to suck Stafford's dick so much, just take the Lions gear off and just go be a bandwagon Rams fan again like 2021. Like, just go be Kelly Stafford's problem and get out of my face. Don't be my problem. And, of course, I've heard the last couple weeks is, what would the Lions have won a Super Bowl if Matt Stafford played with this team and this and that? It's like, Jesus Christ, it's been 5 years since the fucking trade. Let it go already. Like, the Lions on it, like, Stafford had 12 goddamn years. He didn't take advantage of that time. He had his chances. He didn't make it happen. You can blame whoever you want for it, but at the end of the day, it's on Stafford to make the most of what he had, and he couldn't get it done. He had his chances. He couldn't get it done. It was time for a new change. And honestly, I think the Lions have been better off without Stafford anyway. But yeah, and of course, everyone talking about, oh, Jared's going to get booed in this game in Los Angeles. I'm not concerned about that at all. Jared's not going to get booed because it's LA. Like, Jared's going to get cheered because this stadium's it's going to be a de facto home game for the Lions Sunday. Because the stadium's going to get overrun with Lions fans. And I know before some Rams fans come into comments and doubt that one bit, all I say is, oh, you poor naive children. If only Rams Nation knew that there are a shitload of Lions fans that live out on the West Coast. Plus somebody's got to compete with the 49ers for who can take over SoFi Stadium the best. Like all of us in the one pride gotta compensate for our tiny penis somewhere. And usually SoFi is a great place to do it. I mean, SoFi is a nice stadium. I won't shit on that. I'll say this, the Rams definitely got one of the best stadiums in the league, not gonna lie. Well, I mean, it better be one of the best stadiums in the league when you spent $6 billion building the goddamn thing. But yeah, of course, like I said, this game's going to be decided in the trenches, you know. I think establishing the run and controlling time possession, like, the Lions need to control time possession and play their brand of football, play that smash mouth gritty football. Like, feed the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And the fight, and if it comes down to pass game, well, the Rams secondary's not one of the best. Like, most of the Rams' defensive success so far this year have come off that front seven. So if they can give Jared Goff time to throw, I think they can take advantage of a lot of the flaws on that Rams defense in the secondary. Like, I don't know why people keep propping up the Rams like they're just a beatable team. They're not. The Rams are fucking human. They are beatable. For fuck's sakes, they literally lost to the Panthers a couple weeks ago. This is a winnable game. The Lions can win this game. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty. They just have to win. Just gotta get it done. Don't have to be pretty. Win by any means necessary. And just go get this W. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Lions. A lot of people are writing Detroit off because, they're banged up in the Rams and all this and that. All I say is, anybody that doubts this team doesn't fucking know us. And a lot of people down the Lions before this game. I think this game's going to be an example of what happens, of why you actually play the damn games and don't jump straight to conclusions. So, yeah. So how I think the Lions have the power to stay in this game. Plus, keep in mind, last time the Lions played in LA against Stafford, That was when the Lions were pretty bad at 0-5, 0-6, and they hung with the Rams that entire game. The Lions are honestly a way better team. The Lions coming to LA this Sunday are a way better team than what we trotted out 4 or 5 years ago. So if we can play our football and stay in this game, we can beat the Rams. This is a winnable game. This team has done it twice in the last couple years. We can definitely do it a third time. And I think the Lions do win this game. I think this game is my upset of the week. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Lions, and I think an upset is brewing. And I'll just say, before anyone doubts, all I just say is this. Any given Sunday, any good team can have a bad day. Any given Sunday, David can beat Goliath. Even though this Lions team isn't as talented as before, they know the Rams pretty well. I think this is a good matchup. And I think the Lions go to SoFi, and I think they play spoiler, and they prevent the Rams from clinching a playoff spot. And I think the only thing the Rams are locking up this week are their clown certificates for thinking this game was won already. No, you actually have to play the game. You can't underestimate anybody in this league. It's going to be a dogfight. But if Detroit can keep up with Stafford and keep establishing the run with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, they can win this game. It doesn't have to be a pretty win. They just got to stay in it and then win, and they can win. This is a winnable game. I have the Lions winning this game. 20-18. I have the Lions winning by 2. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think that Ratwich and Miles Frazier build off how they played off last week. And I think they do what they need to do. If the O-line can play well and pick up out of the Rams' blitzes, they can win this game, no problem. But yeah, let's go get this W in SoCal against the Rams. Let's beat the Rams once again. And let's show them that we don't need Matt Stafford and the One Pride anymore. Go Lions.